Welcome to Third Chances, a talk show where we like to hear from people who devoted their life to health, fitness, and wellness. Medical professionals, health coaches, and all the others who help us every day to cure our body, mind, or soul. Those who always look for more natural, holistic ways to help even more people to live a happier and healthier life. Those who don't like to give up easily and settle on you or themselves. It is never too late or too soon. I always believe that every one of us deserves not just a second chance, but as many as we need. I'm Vera, your host. Who better than a master of reinvention with an accent to guide you through it, right? Just like they say, you are not a tree, so move. And God knows I have done just that in my own life many times. If you are not completely happy with the direction your life is going, this show may help you get the courage to change what is needed, find a new path, and take charge. So come on over, pour yourself a glass of wine, and spend some time with us. Let's laugh and cry together and get inspired by people just like you and me who overcame their own doubts and took a leap of faith to reinvent their life on their own terms. I hope and pray that we help you on that journey. And if you feel so compelled and inspired, please let us know. Don't be shy. Who knows? You may just be our next featured guest with another inspiring success story. So here we go. Welcome everybody to our first episode of Third Chances, when we talk to people about how their life changed when they reinvent themselves. And I'm so proud and honored to have my first guest here, Amy Stacy. She's been a registered nurse for 37 years with specialty for hospice, which is quite amazing to me because when I met her, I just about had an experience with hospice care in my own life. And so I could not imagine somebody doing that hard work. Being around people that are losing loved ones, it's really hard on your emotions, and I'm sure it wasn't easy to go home every day. But Amy also had her own challenges in her life, and there were things that changed the path of her career and of her life journey, and she's now in completely different place. So I just thought it would be the most natural to have her as our first guest to share her story about how she came to nursing, what it meant to her, and then later on, what happened that transformed her life into even unbelievable heights that she never dreamed of. So welcome, Amy, to our podcast, and please tell us about you, how you start, what made you going for nursing, and what was your dream for life when you were young?
Well, there's a funny story that not many people know about. When I graduated high school, there was a movie that was out. George C. Scott, I think, was in it, and it was called The Day of the Dolphin.
Okay.
And when I saw that movie, I thought, I'm going to teach dolphins how to talk for a living.
Love it.
So that was my intended career path. So, I went to my first year of college, and, first year of college, you kind of play around a little bit and probably don't focus on your studies as much as you should, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I failed biology. So needless to say, that wasn't the career path that was meant for me. And my mother, who happens to also be a registered nurse, told me that, it's a sound career. It's guaranteed work the rest of your life, and you should go to nursing school. So that's what I did. So that's kind of what pushed me into nursing after I realized I couldn't teach dolphins how to talk.
Oh, but dolphins are so cute.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But anyway, it's kind of a funny story, but I've always been an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started my nursing career at the NIH, National Institutes of Health, in oncology research, cancer research, and absolutely loved what I did. And actually, that was back when AIDS was out. So we did a lot of research on HIV as well. So that was the start of my career up in Bethesda, Maryland. I'm originally from Charlottesville, Virginia. I got kind of tired of the rat race. I got married, I got divorced, and I said, I'm going back home to Charlottesville. And I started my career as a hospice and palliative care nurse. Loved what I did. I created the after hours on-call team for a local hospice, which has never been done before. And, you know, I had my nickname at work was Amy Solution Stacy.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
They all said, if there's a problem, Amy will find a way.
Wonderful.
So all these nurses were burnt out because they had to work all day and then they had to do on call at night. And I said, this system is broken. We need a dedicated on-call team so that these nurses can sleep at night and work, you know, well rested the next day.
Right.
So anyway, so I created that. Another thing I created that I had for 29 years, as a matter of fact, is a corporate wellness business. And that kind of fell into my lap when I lived up in Bethesda. And basically I went into corporations and did blood pressure checks, wellness checks, vaccines, that kind of thing. And I had that business for 29 years. And what's interesting is, you know, I'm a person that always pays attention to signs, you know, signs from the universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in order to have that wellness business, I had to have a medical director.
Okay.
So my medical director was Dr. Carpenter, great guy. He was my guy for 29 years. And every November, I would visit him at his office and give him a check for being my medical director.
Right.
So in November of 2019, I go in for my annual visit to give him his check. And he says, I've got bad news. And I said, what is that? And he goes, I'm retiring.
Oh.
And I thought, you know what? I've had this business for 29 years. It was hard work. I traveled to 3 states to do this. And so anyway, I thought, you know, this is a sign. So I wrote all of my clients a heartfelt letter saying that, you know, I will not be working anymore starting 2020. Well, little did I know that in 2020, here comes COVID.
Right. That's right.
And all of my work was on the job site. Well, when COVID came, everybody was working from home. So I wouldn't have had a business.
That's right. Yeah.
So that was a sign. So I had that for 29 years and I folded that down in 2019. So I've done a lot, not just necessarily with the business that I'm in now, but so I've always been the type of person like Amy Solution Stacy.
I love that. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. So when there's a problem, there's always a solution. And so in 2011, I know I'm bouncing around all over the years, but 2011, I was diagnosed with a very serious health challenge that was scary for a nurse, especially a hospice nurse.
Right.
And speaking of signs, 2 days after that diagnosis, I got a phone call from Dr. David Silverman to tell me about an alternative modality that helped his dad with a serious illness. And he thought of me because I was a nurse. He had no idea that I had just been diagnosed with this illness.
Right.
So that was another sign from the universe. Again, I always listen to signs. You know, I'm very intuitive. Believe it or not, I'm an introvert. And introverts tend to go with their gut. And my gut has never left me astray.
Yeah.
But I have to say, when David called me, I was very skeptical. And, but I was also very scared. And so I said, I'll give it a whirl. It's probably not going to work, but you know, I'll do it. So I did. I started drinking a supplement called redox signaling molecules. As a nurse, never studied it in chemistry in nursing school. Don't even remember. I don't think any of us have.
Yeah.
It's an emerging field of science. And I was fascinated by the fact that these molecules are produced in our bodies natively. Native means our bodies produce it, like blood is native to the body.
So why it is important for that supplement?
Yes. And what these molecules do, it was all an education that Dr. Silverman gave me, is they detect a bad cell in the body and either repair that cell or replace it with a new cell. And I thought, well, that sounds like sound science. What if these bad cells that are in my body can go away with this technology?
Right.
So long story short, started drinking the redox supplement. And in 6 months later, they scoped me. They stuck a scope down my throat. And doctor called me the next day and asked me what I was doing. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, all your cells look really, really good. There's no bad cells.
That's amazing.
And so needless to say, I did my happy dance.
Yeah.
And I really wasn't interested in sharing the technology with people or building a business. I was happy being a hospice nurse, or so I thought. And but after that happened and I got that clean bill of health, I felt a moral and ethical obligation as a human being, much less an RN, to get the word out to the world that everyone needs to know about this. And the thing I love about it, Vera, is that since it's native to the body, and when we're born, a newborn baby has 100% of these redox molecules in their body. As we get older or get sick, we produce less and less, 10% less per decade after puberty. So you could have a baby with a diaper rash, and you could put these molecules on a newborn baby with a diaper rash. It's 100% safe. So I believe I introduced it to about 40 people in 30 days, which I don't think anybody, I don't think anybody in this company has ever done that. So, well, interestingly enough, because it's word of mouth marketing, network marketing, those 40 people went and told 40 people. So now all of a sudden, 40 times 40 is, you know, what, 1,600 or 16,000. I don't even know. I failed math, so don't worry about that. But it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people.
Yeah. It's more people that you can reach it yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and the thing is, you know, I just work one-on-one with families. But the cool thing is I educated those 40 people, and then taught those people, 40 people, how to educate others. So once you educate somebody, it's kind of like me being educated as a registered nurse. I passed my nursing boards. They kind of kick me out of the nest and say, okay, you've had your training. Now you go take care of patients. You know, but that's where it stopped. But whereas with this business model, it's the ripple effect. You know, it's kind of like an example that I like to give to people that don't really understand the ripple effect is everybody knows the Olive Garden restaurant. Okay. At least I do. I mean, most people have been there. And say, for example, you go and you have the best shrimp scampi you've ever had. And you go out and you tell 10 people. Well, those 10 people are going to Olive Garden, right? And then those 10 people tell 10 people to tell 10 people. All of a sudden, thousands of people are going to Olive Gardens all over the world, right? Who's getting paid?
Olive Garden.
Not me. Olive Garden. So I'm like a free advertisement for Olive Garden. They don't have to pay me, right?
And we do that with everything, for sure.
Right. So with that being said, so that's kind of the power of the business model. But I really want to talk about something else. A lot of people have an aversion to network marketing.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah,
they do, because they think it's a pyramid. When I actually educate them that their job is a pyramid, corporate America is a pyramid. That's a pyramid. The person at the top makes all the money.
Correct.
Person at the bottom, for example, let's say we're talking about a hospital. You got your and I have people draw a triangle, and I say the CEO at the top makes all the money. The vice president makes little less, middle management. And at the bottom of that pyramid triangle, now we're talking about a hospital, right? Are the doctors, the nurses, the radiologists, the cafeteria workers, the transportation, HR, all these people at the bottom. They're not going to make any more money than they already make. So that's
sorry, my microphone just fell. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Continue. I just don't want you to be distracted. I'll fix it up. Sorry.
But so when I explain it to people that way, then they have that aha moment. And I also tell them, Vera, why this company why ASEA chose the network marketing model.
I think that's what it's making really different from any other company on the
It
market.
is, because this company is probably the most ethical company on the planet. Their motto is to put people and principles and purpose over ego and economics. And I'm going to tell you why. So the founder of this company, who is now in his 80s, but he was retired from Kraft Foods, funny enough, and he got involved. I'm just going to give you the Cliff Notes version. Vertus Norton got involved to pretty much just with the idea that he was going to invest his money. And then if this really was what he thought it was, he was going to flip it and he was going to make money. Right. Just kind of like you buy a dilapidated house, you fix it up, you put money into it, and you flip it and you sell it for more. Okay. So, anyway, so in the process of all of that, Vertus Norton decided to share it with 20 people from his church. And those 20 people had very serious health challenges. And those 20 people turned into 135 people, I believe, in 25 countries. So that means people were talking about it, much like the Olive Garden thing.
When do you talk about something? When you have results?
Absolutely. So now it was time for Big Pharma to fly out, come to the table, and write Vertus Norton that check that he was really looking forward to.
Right.
And it was an 8-figure check. You do the math.
And he was in retirement, so he didn't need any more money to begin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when they came to the table, Vertus Norton was ready to accept the check, and Big Pharma said, "We'll give you this check under one condition." And Vertus said, "What is that?" And they said, "Everybody that's taking this product has got to stop. They can no longer take it anymore." And Vertus Norton's exact words at that time was, "Well, that's kind of harsh."
Yeah.
Because without this product, these people would not be benefiting in a good way, like extending their life benefiting. So he turned down the check.
Yeah.
And it was at that point, he said, "Well, people are sharing it, so let me find somebody that can help us make this into a network marketing company." And ASEA was born in 2010 as a network marketing company. And I was one of the initial people that got on board with this just incredible, amazing company. I mean, I'm so proud to be a part of this movement. I really think it's a movement. Yeah. And I don't sell. That's the thing. I don't sell this. I pique interest, send people to a tool, and I get somebody else on the phone to speak with them so they can hear another perspective, not just mine. And they give it a try. Some might be skeptical like I was, but probably 99.9% of the people have great results. And like me, I wasn't interested in the business at all. And I made that very clear to Dr. Silverman. And they fall into the business like I did. I built it part-time while I was working as a nurse. And then all of a sudden, my income surpassed my nursing income. And I got more time freedom.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my story.
It's amazing. When you look back, what do you think, how would your life look like if you didn't take that leap of faith?
Well, and let me tell you another part of that story. So in 2015, I had some family that had some medical issues, and I had to take a back seat. I wasn't sure how long I was going to be out, but I told my team, I said, look, you know, you all plug into each other. I'll let you know when I'm back in the saddle. Well, that turned out to be 3 years that I did not do the business. I didn't even take any calls. I didn't do any Zooms. And luckily, our company pays us every Friday, direct deposit. Well, every Friday, my checks were getting bigger and bigger and bigger for those 3 years. So at the end of those 3 years, my quote unquote salary nearly doubled. And I didn't work one single day. So that is the power of residual income.
Yeah, that's what not many people understand when they stiff their noses over network marketing, when all the major inventions of latest decades are being sold this way, because it's not so easy to just put it on the market and let it run. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And the company is so supportive of all of us in the field. You know, they'll do anything for us. They are not about the money. Remember, it's people, principles, and purpose over ego and economics. Because he could have taken that 8-figure check. He could have done that.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He
and never worry about a diamond for the rest of his life, for sure. Yeah.
He put the people first.
But look at how your life changed as opposed to when you were a nurse.
Oh, Lord.
And if you take a look 10, 12 years back and now, what is the major difference in your personal life that this business gave you?
Oh, I get to work from home. I bought a brand new car, my first brand new car ever in my life. I've always driven used cars. And I bought a brand new car in 2019. Because I work from home and I don't really go anywhere except one annual vacation trip, I think I've got 15,000 miles on my car in 3 years. Yeah. A lot of people put 15,000 miles on their car in a year.
Well, that's also COVID.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. But I don't drive anywhere because everything is at home. My computer, my phone, you know, that's all you really need to do this business.
Yeah. And I bet your furry babies are happy to have you around all day.
Absolutely. I have 2 collies and 2 cats.
Yeah.
And we just got back from 2 weeks in the Outer Banks down in Hatteras and didn't do any work, kept getting paid, didn't have to ask for time off. And we had a grand time, and it's good to get back home and get back in the business. I miss it when I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. But you do have to set boundaries for taking some time for yourself.
Yeah. What gives you peace of mind in your life? What gives you when you are, let's say, if you are a little stressed or something, what would you say it's one thing that works for you to get you back into like peaceful mindset and being fine with yourself?
Well, I'm a master gardener. So I spend a lot of time planting flowers, you know, working in the yard. So that's a big passion of mine. I love my family, spend a lot of time with my family. But what I love is nobody's telling me when I can do that.
Right.
You know, I can do it whenever I want. And that's not to say that I don't work. I work very hard. But I also play very hard. And I absolutely love that. So I also love that I'm in a financial position now to help other people. So, you know, if somebody really is hurting and maybe can't afford it for this week, I'll say, look, don't worry about it. I'll send it to you. And that's just something that I do. I know not everybody does that, but I do it because I really believe that this will help them. And it does.
But that's also the freedom to make enough income that you can be generous with your money,
Yeah.
and you can make the decisions how you use them for enriching your own life. Because when you're helping other people, you're also helping yourself.
Absolutely.
It's the impact that we feel we have when we can do things for more people. And
Sure.
it's
Absolutely.
because you were always, if you were a nurse, you were in service, you had compassion, you had a huge heart for people. And this is actually impacting many, many more people than you could ever impact it as a nurse, I'm
Well,
guessing.
you know, also to that point, the company has what's called loyalty rewards points, where, you know, you can make points every month that you can put towards free product.
Mm-hmm.
And which is wonderful. And again, I've been in the company for a very long time. I don't ever have to use those points because obviously I make enough money where I can just purchase it for myself. But I let those points accrue and they never go away.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now I have over 2,000 points.
Wow.
Which is a lot of product. Now, occasionally I'll get a call from somebody saying a good friend of theirs has been given 6 months to live, but they can't afford it.
Wow.
And so that's when I dip into my loyalty rewards points and I send them free product.
Yeah.
So that's how I help people too.
To be honest, we cannot claim that this cure heals or prevent anything because it's a supplement.
Absolutely.
And full disclosure, I work for this company. I started working with them a year ago when I met Amy, and that's something that is changing my life right now as well. Not as fast as Amy's, but we all have our own pace. But it is amazing that this is a tool to give body to heal itself. And it's somebody, we just had a mastermind that I heard somebody saying was the funniest thing ever. And it's somebody whose life also was very impacted by this product. And he said, this is the best pitch ever. This does nothing. We have a product that does nothing, which is not 100% sure, because what it does, it boosts your own body to do its own thing, because our body is such a brilliant computer that it knows exactly how to fix itself, repair and everything. It's just we lose that as we age. So that's just a fantastic thing about this product. And I'm sure you spend years educating people about the benefits and how is it different from anything else that is on the market. What does it feel to you when you can impact somebody's life on such a level that, like I said, we don't claim that this heal anything, but we have
Of course,
enough evidence
we don't, yes,
to
it's
boost
not,
your body to do its
it's
own.
intended to give your body what it's lacking.
Yeah.
But you know, as a registered nurse before I got into this business, which I'm so grateful for, I basically gave patients drugs.
Yeah.
You know, and at the time I thought I was helping them. And, you know, drugs do have their place. I'm not saying that they don't.
Right.
And again, this technology is not a cure, treatment, or diagnosis for any health challenge. It just empowers the body to do what it's originally designed to do. But what I love is working with people that take a slew of medications and help them possibly get off of a few.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's helping them financially, it's helping them physically.
And also, what is the difference between drug and something like this?
Because drugs aren't native to your body.
Right.
You know, you can overdose on a drug, any drug. You can overdose on Tylenol. You can actually overdose on some supplements, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That what makes ASEA sets us apart from everybody else is the back of the bottle. If you look at the back of the bottle, it says sodium chloride. Okay. So the reason we don't sell it on the shelves in a health food store is somebody's going to look at the back of that bottle and say, well, why would I spend that money on salt water?
Yeah.
But what they don't realize is that it's gone through a process of electrolysis to create the redox signaling molecules, which are native to your body. So if I were to drink too much redox, say more than I'm supposed to, my body will just excrete it in urine or sweat. It just gets rid of it because it's native to your body. And when, say, for example, when you go to the hospital and they give you an IV, the IV that's hanging up there going into your veins is sodium chloride because our bodies are made of salt water.
Yeah.
So you cannot, it's probably the only supplement on the market that you cannot, overdose on.
And it doesn't react with any medication that people are on
Yep.
as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
Can I ask you one thing? I know you have been in this for a long, long time, and I'm sure aside of your own powerful story that helped you with the health challenge that was quite scary, do you have one favorite story in the many, many, many that you saw, that when you felt like you impacting people's life and you were able to help somebody to get the hope and get to alternative? Sometimes people lose hope when something is very serious and they don't even know that something can exist that may give them a chance to get better. Do you have a favorite story out of all those?
I've got a million stories that we could be here all day, and obviously that's not going to happen. But actually, my favorite, I'm not going to get it. Well, I'll tell you one particular story, but my favorite thing to do with this, because it throws the placebo effect out the window, is I am a huge animal lover.
Yeah.
And when any of my friends call me to say, I have a dog with, that's limping, or, I have a horse that's got something growing, and nothing's working.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it because I say quietly to myself, you have no idea what I'm going to hit you with. And I introduce them to ASEA, and of course they're skeptical, but animals don't lie.
Right.
And when you see the animals improve, I had a collie that had some issues with walking due to, being born that way, and a lot of discomfort. And I started spraying her gums with ASEA throughout the day. She didn't like it at first, but then she started lapping it up because she knew it was good for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a video of her running and playing in the snow, which she was never able to do.
That's gonna give you a great feeling.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So animals, I just love, love, love animals.
Yeah. If you look back through your life, is there something that you wish you did differently?
Not at all. You know why? Because divine intervention created this path for me. It created the path of me not teaching dolphins how to talk.
Oh.
It created, my nursing path. It created me being an entrepreneur and starting a wellness business. I wouldn't change a thing in the world. And ASEA came into my life at the exact moment that I needed it.
Right.
And so, no, I wouldn't change a thing. Absolutely not. Because if ASEA had come into my life when I was 20, I wouldn't have looked at it.
That's right.
Because I knew everything when I was 20.
Yeah, don't we all?
So anyway,
I know, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. That's really powerful. It's just sometimes I feel so heartbroken when I have people that I know it may help, and it's maybe something that they need and they refuse to even look at it. And I know I would have probably been so arrogant too. And when I lost my husband, I didn't know about this. I had no idea it existed, and I lost him. I'm not saying that things could have been different, but I never know because we didn't try. We didn't give ourselves that chance.
Mm-hmm.
So when this came to my life months after he passed, I was at this very painful situation when I didn't need any pressure on me. I was grieving. I had, things falling apart for me. And I felt like I don't need anything starting new in my life right now. I need to kind of settle and find my peace and everything. But the truth is that I at least looked at it and at least gave it a chance for myself. And within a week, my whole physiology of my body changed. And I'm somebody who has 3 surgeries in her back and screws. And so I'm limited in what I can do. And it's been now just 1 year for me that I'm on this product. And I can list a page of benefits that I noticed that are different in my health and in the way how I'm able to respond to even direct exposure to viruses and everything possible. So you find this power in you to see what it does, but some people can't get over their skepticism. It's really disempowering when they believe a stranger on Google over you that they know for years, and it's sometimes it hurts, doesn't it?
It's, I guess I'm not in the place where I get upset when somebody says no.
Mm-hmm.
What makes me sad is they don't know what they're saying no to.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
But what I always leave the door open with those people. I say, I understand right now is not your time, but you are going to find out about this from other people. And I would really like it if you would come back to me if you ever do decide to get on this product and make a difference in your life. And I just leave the door open.
Mm-hmm.
I try to send them a tool. I try to explain to them that Google is kind of the men's bathroom wall, if you will. Yeah. And I try to send them to googlescholar.com and have them look for redox signaling, or go to pubmed.gov. I like to send people to the science,
right,
so that they can see that this is sound science.
One more question, if I may, because we are talking about this is so powerful for people with medical challenges, but let's say a 35 years old man that is very active athlete, would that be beneficial to him?
Absolutely. It definitely, they did a study on mice with ASEA and a placebo, and they found that on ASEA, those mice ran harder, faster, and longer. And as a matter of fact, we have quite a few Olympic athletes that take ASEA, and it's quote unquote safe, if you know what I mean. Yeah. In other words, they test these athletes, especially Olympians, for steroids and all that. Whereas, when they jump in the pool to do their race, they can take a swig of ASEA. As a matter of fact, ASEA has made a pouch that you can drink right out of for that very reason. Mm-hmm. But if somebody's 35 and they're not an athlete, I say, look, if I'd have known about this when I was 35, I may not have gotten that health issue when I was 52.
True. That's the one thing that surprised me, because obviously I'm not neither doctor nor nurse, but exactly. I have been around a lot of doctors that year that I am being educated on it. And one thing that Dr. Hoffman once said that really touched my heart was like, just because you don't feel anything going on in your body doesn't mean that nothing is brewing in there that may not be taken care of.
Well, to your point, say, for example, you take a blood pressure medicine, let's just say, and you don't really feel that your blood pressure is going down.
Correct.
But you take the medicine because your doctor said to take it. So you don't necessarily have to feel everything that you put in your body. ASEA Redox empowers the body to do what it was designed to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
And that's why I love this.
one of
So,
my biggest surprises, aside of very physical challenges that I had, aches and pains and stiffness and stuff like that. But just recently, I think I was 6 months on a Redux, and I had a blood test, which, to your point, you don't feel that you have higher cholesterol. My cholesterol was on a rise last several years because of all the stress, and I eat very healthy. I was actually specialized in nutrition before I had another business, and so my latest blood work back in November, total cholesterol was over 300 points, which was alarming. And I didn't want to go on statins, and I'm like, I'm gonna take care of this. And this is about when I started Anasia in November last year. And my other blood check was in May, and I did not remember that total number when I was at my doctor. So we took the blood check, the blood test came back, and I looked at the number, and the doctor says, your cholesterol is fine. Like, I wouldn't do anything. And I came home and looked at the previous blood test and realized it was 60 points down. Did I feel it? No. Did the blood tell the truth? Yes. And nothing changed in my lifestyle except this.
Yep.
So that was big aha moment for me as well, because I have had several changes within first month, but this was big deal.
Absolutely.
I know that you are on it for 12 years. I know that you're still noticing new things that are coming up for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So do you have any other questions? Because I'm going to have to hop on another call.
All right. Well, but no, I think I'm so happy that we had this chat. And I hope it will be really helpful for people to maybe encourage them to look at it and see that there is powerful modalities out there that may not have side effects like everything else.
One of my favorite sayings, and it's always been, and this is why I'm an entrepreneur, if you open your mind, you'll open the world. There is no harm in taking a look at this before you walk away from something you know nothing about. That, I think, is, and I don't want this to come across the wrong way, that's a definition of ignorance. When you walk away from something that you know nothing about.
That's right.
So give yourself the education. If after the education you say, I don't think this is for me, then okay, at least you educated yourself.
I think that's just about the grand finale that I was looking for our talk, because I was going to ask you for like the one piece of advice that you would give to people. And
that would be it.
I think this is it.
That would be it. Well, thank you, Vera.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to talk to you, and I wish you a beautiful day. And to all our listeners, I hope you come back, because we will be talking like this every single week. And your dog said goodbye.
And she said goodbye.
Yeah. Have a good one, Amy. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, Vera.